quote where it says, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will take you there. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't have plans and you haven't pinpointed a destination, you don't have a map to get there, then it doesn't matter where that there becomes. So if your marriage doesn't go according to plan, well, you didn't have plans in the first place on how to build a beautiful home. If your children don't grow up the way you had expected or hoped, then it doesn't matter how they turned out. Why? Because you didn't have plans for having them. For us to have a beautiful Muslim home, have a great, fulfilling relationship with our spouse, raise children that are not only God-conscious, but useful to themselves and society, it takes deliberate planning. It takes hard work, commitment from both you and your spouse, and a whole lot of prayers. So for us to build a beautiful Muslim home, it takes so much from us, but it takes deliberate, conscious actions. Due to time, I'm only going to be talking about two areas, two topics. However, the topic of how to build a beautiful Muslim home is inexhaustible. So I'm going to first talk about our relationship with our spouse, because if we are okay, often our children will be okay, and it's so much easier to instill values and raise children the right way. Then the second topic I'll be talking about is parenting and our roles. Now, marriage and parenting takes a true partnership between you and your spouse. Ideally, both of you have to be on the same page on the purpose of why you got married in the first place, on the same page in how to build a beautiful Muslim home, on the same page in how to raise well-disciplined children. Unfortunately, you find in many marriages today that some of us end up raising the children alone. We are the ones who take the driver's seat. We do all the work, and if things go well, they take credit. If things go wrong, we get blamed. Now, it's not compulsory to get married. It's highly encouraged. However, once we choose to get married, then what is compulsory on us is this huge role we have to play. We have rights and obligations. However, so does our spouse. We invited Allah to be a witness to our union. And once we sign that contract in His presence, we're going to have to answer to Him for what we did or didn't do. If one doesn't know one's rights or obligations, unfortunately, ignorance is not an excuse. We have to do our homework. We have to read. We have to ask. Fortunately, many of us can go on YouTube today or Google and just type in rights and obligations of a spouse in Islam. But the divorce rate in the Muslim community today is at an all-time high. And many couples are still together. However, they are running on empty. We are married. However, there is no relationship. I just came back from Kano where I gave this same lecture. And during the talk, a gentleman shared some statistics that I found extremely disturbing. Someone had conducted a research of northern Muslim women who were married, and 80% said they were unsatisfied with their marriage, that their marriages were unstable. Some feel trapped in the relationship. They exist like roommates or are in a relationship that is toxic. Sadly, they stay in that relationship due to several reasons, which I'm not going to go through. But we are not meant to suffer or manage in marriage. We are meant to grow, increase in value. We are not meant to depreciate or lose our self-worth. Now, peace and tranquility cannot be achieved if one spouse is oppressed, if one spouse is suffering, if one spouse is just managing. If you look critically at those relationships, you will discover that some key critical ingredients are missing that are meant to be in any beautiful home. Now, peace and tranquility in the home. Allah describes that thing as what we can achieve if we do everything right, that it's attainable, and that's why we get married, to achieve peace and tranquility. So peace and tranquility, hot, steamy bedroom acrobatics. It's a package. It's not isolated. It's not compartmentalized. You can't be fighting over issues, being disrespectful, being unfaithful to your spouse, and expect peace to exist. You can't expect love and mercy to exist in that kind of climate.